Hi, I'm Terry Klinker. We're going to continue our discussion of decision analysis today. Today we're going to talk about actually how do you make decisions? What makes a good decision or a bad decision? And what steps should you include in your decision analysis process? Let's talk about what is a good decision and what is a bad decision. All right? Most people would say a good decision is where you get what you were after or what you wanted. Well, that's kind of a childish way to look at it. Think about somebody who invests in something. You make an investment in a stock. You make an investment in some type of an operation. You make that investment because you expect to get some sort of a return on it. Now, whether you get a positive return or a negative return would be one of the things you're looking for. Some people actually do seek out negative returns as a tax dodge. All right? Some people, it's not enough to make positive money, you have to make a certain amount of positive money. A lot of times we refer to this as internal rate of return. I'm not going to invest in it unless I can expect at least this much back. All right? But what do we do with that? We make that decision based on all the information we have at this point in time. So if we knew for certain we were going to make money and it was going to be enough, then yeah, we could say that's a good decision. Well, the only way you can do that is to buy some type of a interest-bearing bond where it's promised to you. Why wouldn't I always buy interest-bearing bonds then? Well, because typically interest-bearing bonds are lower than what you might make in the open market. Otherwise, everybody would just buy bonds. Okay, the people who you buy bonds from turn around and use that money to try to make money elsewhere. And they assume they're going to make more than they're paying you to hold on to your money. So let's get back to my original question. What makes something a good decision or a bad decision? All right? A good decision basically breaks down to what you put into it. A good decision is based on logic. It's not based on guesswork or how you feel or it's a friend's operation. All right? It's based on logic. It considers all of the options available to you. Now, what do I mean by that? It considers all of the options available to you. Sometimes when you're trying to make a decision, somebody brings you, you're a senior manager in a corporation, or you're a project manager trying to get money for your project. People will bring information to you if you're the senior manager, and they might only include the things that support what they want to happen. This is what politicians do to us all the time. They only include information that they think supports what they want you to do. This is biased. If you are the project manager, you may only bring the information that you know supports what you're trying to do. This is not fair. This is not giving your boss or the people who are making the major investment the opportunity to make a good decision. So we talked about it's based on logic. It considers all possible options. It also considers all of the information available at the time the decision is made. I don't pick and choose what information I feed to you. I don't pick and choose the options. I don't pick and choose the information. Once again, this is something that our politicians do all the time. Good decisions will sometimes give unfavorable results. Now, this doesn't make sense to some people. If I've used logic, considered all options, and considered all information, how could it give me an unfavorable result? Well, once again, you don't know what the future is going to hold. You don't know for certain what's going to happen in the future. If we knew that, we'd know what decisions to make. As a matter of fact, if I could do that, I would have won the lottery a couple of times and there'd be somebody else doing these videos for you. All right? We don't know what the future holds. So you may make a good decision and something that you could not foresee goes wrong, or something that wasn't measurable happens. All right? Bad decisions. Bad decisions do not consider alternatives. They go with what the boss wants, and that's it. All right? Bad decisions do not consider all of the information available. I pick and choose what I want to present to support my idea. I've seen this happen all the time in industry. People try to bias the decision towards what they want. A lot of times it goes very bad for the corporation. Sometimes it goes all right. Now here's an important thing. Bad decisions can sometimes lead to positive outcomes. How could I make a bad decision and still get a positive outcome? Well, What did I say a bad decision was? A bad decision doesn't include all the options. The option you are supporting might be the right one. Bad decisions don't consider all of the data. Well, you might, in supporting and biasing the selection, you might be right with what you were trying to bias. But the bottom line is still, it's still a bad decision. If it's going to be a good decision, if you put all the options up, if you put all of the information in, it should support what you're trying to do anyway. So how could why would it be a bad decision? Well, think about this thought. Is it worse to have a good decision that gives you an unfavorable outcome or a bad decision that gives you a favorable outcome? Think about that for just a second. The answer may surprise you. It's worse to make a bad decision with a favorable outcome. Why? Because if you make a bad decision, if you don't use logic, if you use gut feel, and you get lucky, the only way it's going to actually work this way, the only way a bad decision gives you a good outcome is if you got lucky. The things that you eliminated ended up being worse than what the right decision was, or just dumb luck altogether. The problem with that is, once you got lucky the first time, you think in your unerring skill, you did the right thing. Now you keep making decisions based on that. The next one goes bad. Do you recognize that you've made a bad decision? No, because it worked right the first time. You may have to have 3 or 4 or more decisions go bad on you before you realize that you were just lucky the first time. So you could end up costing yourself and your company a lot of money. Following good decision techniques, even if sometimes it's unfavorable, is better because you are more consistent in what you're trying to do. Now, once we've done that, how do we make our decision? Well, there are 5 steps in the decision analysis process. The first one, this is the most important and often the most difficult. The first thing you want to do is define the problem. Now this should seem self-evident, but you'd be amazed at how many people do not sit down and say, what am I actually trying to address? This is particularly bad in American corporations. Americans are action people. We see a problem and we want to go out there, we want to start pushing buttons, we want to start moving people, we want to start doing something. Activity is an excellent thing. And we go out there and we actually do make changes, but quite often it doesn't address the original problem we were trying to get at. So the first thing you want to do is, what is it that I'm trying to influence? Once we've defined the problem, the second thing we want to do is list all of the alternatives. All of them, not just the ones you like, but all of the alternatives. This is what I'm trying to do. What options do we have? The third, identify the outcomes. For each alternative. What do I mean by this? If I make this alternative, what could possibly happen? Good, bad, indifferent, what could happen if I make this decision? What possible outcomes are there for each alternative? The fourth step is to identify the payoff for each combination of alternatives and outcomes. Now, the alternatives are the options. These are what we have control of. We can choose which way we're going to go. The outcomes are referred to as states of nature. We do not have control of this. You're trying to decide, am I going to have my picnic with my kids on Saturday or Sunday? You go and pick out the information you have. Do I go with Saturday or go with Sunday? Take a look. What's the weather going to look like? What other activities do you have going on for the day? Right? Your option is Saturday or Sunday. What could happen? Well, depending on the weather, Saturday says it's only got a 30% chance of rain, but it will be severe thunderstorms. Sunday has a chance of light showers all through the day. All right? So what is the payoff for each one? Well, if I choose Saturday and I have a sunny day, my payoff is a nice, pleasant picnic with the kids. If I pick Saturday and the monsoon comes through, everybody gets soaked, everything gets washed away, we have all kinds of problems, everybody's in a bad mood. If I pick Sunday and it's a sunny day, everybody's happy. If I pick Sunday and we have light rain, it was a little unpleasant, we moved into a shelter for a little bit, and then we moved back out and finished our picnic. These are your payoffs. The fifth step then is to pick a decision, a technique, a decision analysis technique, and apply it to your problem. Make a decision. 5 steps. Define the problem. List your options. List the outcomes, the states of nature. What could happen for each alternative? What's the payoff for each combination of options and states of nature? And then decide which technique you're going to use. In the next video, we will take a business problem and apply the first 4 steps and build what we call a payoff table. In the videos following that, I will show you several different techniques and we will apply it to the problem that we're going to define next time.